For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com, on SoundCloud, and all your other favorite podcast platforms or apps or whatever they're called. We've got a busy show for you today. David Archuleta, who was one of my favorites on American Idol back in the day, is joining us a little bit halfway through the show to talk about his Christmas music and his tour and new music and lots of fun stuff. I know it's October something, and we're going to be talking Christmas already. No different than the stores in the mall, though, right? I mean, they've already got the Christmas stuff up in some cases. So David Archuleta is standing by. And there were some other things that happened earlier this week that I've got to tell you about. I had a really, really good Sunday with my parents, believe it or not. And it concluded with a really big win at the casino. Stand by for those details. And then the next day on Monday, in my homeland of Canada, there was a federal election that led to a minority government. And if you're American and you're thinking that means, people of color or something like that, that's not exactly what a minority government is in Canada. But my thoughts and my questions about what that means for the future of Canada for the next at least, 3-4 years potentially. So we're going to be talking about that. So we've got Archuleta, we've got the evening with my parents, and the federal election all coming up on the Scribble, and it all begins right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
JB here, back on the Scribble. So I mentioned just a few seconds ago, it was quite a busy week, and it started on Sunday with me spending the evening with my parents. Now, here's the deal. At least once a year, we all go to a show. My parents say that I don't see them enough anymore since I moved out, 11 years ago. And I should also tell you that they live about a 5-minute drive from my house, and my mom regularly comes to walk the dogs with me, and so, but I guess when you're living under their roof and you're basically there, I don't want to say 24/7 because I always, was working or in school or something, but, the majority of your home life, all of your home life, I guess, at that point is with your parents. And so anyway, every year I get them some kind of concert or show tickets. And at Christmas, that's kind of the thing. And often if there's no actual show scheduled or announced that they want to see, we'll kind of just wait. So they'll literally open an empty envelope on Christmas. That we kind of have a kick out of that, because they'll see the envelope and they'll wonder, what tickets are inside. Most often there's not, or it'll just have a piece of paper written with the concert or the show's name. Celine Dion, it'll just say that. No tickets yet. It's an IOU of sorts. Anyway, Cirque du Soleil has a really cool show called Amaluna. Now, if you are in the San Francisco area, you're going to want to check it out because it's coming there. But I was invited to check out the finale, the last show, the final show. And it was incredible. All Cirque du Soleil shows are amazing. If you have not seen one, I highly recommend you do it. It's a circus of sorts, but it's people. People are the animals, are the creatures. You're not having some poor, sad elephant having to stand on that little stool thing or whatever it is, right? There are humans dressed as animals on Cirque du Soleil shows. And so it was incredible. Much like the other Cirque shows, I don't understand the storyline. I guess there was a girl who was getting involved with a guy, and then there were all these obstacles in the way. Obstacles being people, protesters, who wouldn't let that happen. That was the gist of it. Nevertheless, you're going there to see the spectacle. You're going there to see the acrobatics, to see the people flying through the air, to see the goofy characters running through the audience. Like, it really was a fun night. Dare I say magical? It really was a good time. And so, after that, my parents, who are, big gamblers, really, I only found out earlier, as we were on our way to the casino after the show, that they had already stopped in there once that day. They're not addicts. It's just a hobby. That's pissing away my inheritance anyway. And so I thought, okay, what the hell? And again, the casino is something that we do for Mother's Day or her birthday or my dad's birthday or their anniversary, something like that. My brothers and I'm Winnipeg cheapskate, right? In the newspaper and with a best-selling book. I'm not going to the casino and willingly sliding $20 bills into a machine. I will, however, though, do it if I'm given money. And here's the deal, is that for my birthday, my parents give me cash, and it's almost sort of implied that, this is casino money, but it's not said, you know what I mean? And so I end up just kind of stashing that away in an envelope, and then when it comes time for, like, my dad's birthday actually is in about a week and a half, I can just draw on that and not actually have to use my own money. So I don't feel bad about wasting that $100 or whatever it is, because it wasn't mine to begin with, right? That's how I justify it. Anyway, so we go to the casino. I am not a night owl. I don't stay out, I don't stay out at least past 10 o'clock. I don't stay up past, at least 11 on a good day. But again, there was just something fun about it, right? We went to the show at whatever time it was. We go to the casino after. Here's the thing. I used to understand how slot machines worked, and by that I mean 777. I knew that I won. Right? Cherry, 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 knew that I won. Lemon, 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 or bar, 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 I guess is what it would be. I knew that I was winning. Now it's so computerized that I don't understand. There's all these lines, zigzagging and flashing, and coins are flying in front because it's all computerized. Like, the display is computerized now. I found myself getting aggravated when I was winning because I didn't know why. I couldn't be happy that I just won $10. I was pissed off because I won $10 and didn't know how. Right? Leave it up to me, the pessimist. Well, when I ended up winning $3,000, I was feeling a little bit better. Granted, I still did not quite understand. There was, again, some sort of like a dragon game, and then if you got these two symbols, this like dragon thing would fly in and bounce on the row, and then another one would pop up, and then if you got another dragon symbol, it would bounce on the row. I'm not even explaining it properly, but again, who cares? It was $3,000. Now, at that point, the machine is woo woo woo, and there's lights going, and and then people are starting to come over, and you'd think that you'd be excited. I was actually kind of embarrassed and like, I don't want this attention. This is awkward. These people are all standing around like, they just saw a car crash and I'm laying on the ground. They're all just kind of standing there. Unless they know you, they're not happy for you, right? If they don't, they're pissed off because they didn't win that. And even then, I walk around and I look at the casino, and people are just so serious and they look so mad there. And I don't understand that because, well, I guess I do understand that because you're just sliding money into a machine and you're not getting anything for it. But even people who are winning don't seem to have like a yes or a smile on their face. It's a very, I don't know. Like I said, if that's what you want to do with your money, go for it. My parents have done it, and whatever. My brothers just shrug our shoulders and say, well, it's their money. They can do what they want. For me, it's not my first choice of entertainment or, something to do in the evening. Or apparently in the daytime, as my parents have proven. So to me, it was cool. I won the 3,000. It was 27 something. I round that up. And I didn't get the urge to go back. I don't have like, I'm going to go back and win again. Like I really don't. I feel okay. I got it. I almost want to consider it beginner's luck, but I'm not a beginner. And that was it. I called it a night, and there we go. So that was my Sunday. Tell me if you have any wild gambling stories, because actually I think I talked about it on the show maybe over a year ago, that I was playing this big wheel game where you sort of bet on a number, and then the wheel spins, and then if you get it, you know, either double your money depending on how many of those numbers are on the wheel, right? The odds. And so I was playing with my brother. I was up to like $200 and some, and then once you get comfortable with the game, you start betting more and more and more and more and more, and then that money quickly goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. So you might strike it lucky, you know, once or twice, and then you get those two big wins, and then you get this cocky confidence, and you know, and then I lost it all. So I've had two extremes, obviously, right? Losing or winning. I didn't actually lose $200 of my money. I went there, I think, with like 20 or 40. I was up a lot of money, and then I gave it right back, is what I'm saying. Do you consider that losing it? I guess you do. So anyway, that was Sunday, and then come Monday was federal election night in Canada. I'll tell you about my thoughts on a minority government in the next segment, and remember, David Archuleta is also standing by. We're back after this on The Scribble.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
JB here on The Scribble. Oh, and what a week it was. So the federal election that happened in Canada on Monday led to a minority government. And again, if you're just tuning in, although I don't know that you can tune in midway through a podcast, that means that not one particular party got enough seats in the House to have a majority, so it therefore becomes a minority government because everybody had less than the required amount. And the newscasters that night were saying that it could go one of two ways, is that they'll have to work together, the parties will have to work together to get things done, otherwise they'll just be at a standstill, a stalemate, whatever you want to call it, or they will be bickering just like they were during the campaign, and nothing's going to get done. They're going to make it difficult for each other to get things passed or voted on or whatever. And so I kind of feel, and this is where I spend a lot of my time in the United States, this is where I feel that we're almost no better than American politics. Because, first off, the Canadian public could not agree and could not vote unanimously. Not that you would ever really get a unanimous vote, right? You're always still going to have people with differences of opinions or beliefs on laws and things like that. But again, to not have a majority is concerning, and then to have it so spread out. Now, here's the deal. You can look at that as a positive and show there's a lot of diversity in the country, sure. But the fundamentals, right? Your ideals, your I don't even want to say your ethics or morals. That's, well, I guess in politics it sort of is too, right? If you are strongly against, let's say, cannabis or gay marriage or whatever it is, yeah, I guess that could be your ethics or what have you. And so I don't know what to expect then for the next few years. And I'm hoping that these people would go and say, you know what, at the end of the day, it's for the benefit and the betterment of the country and the people who voted for us. So you know what, let's all come together and show the people. But again, I think what's going to end up happening is you're going to have these parties, 3 or 4 of them that are going to be having to work together. I think you're going to have them try to be upstaging and one-upping each other so that when the next vote rolls around, they'll be in the spotlight. Well, they'll have the positive reputation and history for the past couple of years. And so they will try to work that into their favor. So I kind of see it like the American election where, you know, you're still a year or so away from voting president again, But already it's just this battle to see who's going to, it's going to be a pissing contest, I think, is what's going to happen. So if you're in Canada and you witnessed all of that playing out on Monday night, I guess, or technically into early Tuesday morning as well, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. Tell me what you think. Are we going the way of the Americans? Are we just going to have this, unrest, this civil unrest and discourse where it's just childish at name-calling, mudslinging, making life difficult for each other? I hope not, but tell me your thoughts. Again, live@jbonair.com. Now, let's get on to happier things. David Archuleta, former American Idol star, is joining us in the next segment to talk about his new Christmas music and upcoming tour.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
I can't believe it's been over 10 years since David Archuleta was on American Idol, and then his first single was played on our show. He's moved on to bigger and better things, and I'm still doing this. But David is joining us on the line to talk about all the new projects he's got. Hello there, David.
Hi there, Jeremy.
Well, how are you? It's been a long time since we've chatted.
Yeah, I've been doing well, thank you. Traveling a little bit, but I'm taking a little break home before I get ready to go back on tour for Christmas time.
I know you've got a busy November and December coming up, so you've got Christmas music and a bunch of tour dates. But let's rewind a little bit and go back to that time that you were on Idol. It's like I said, it's been over 10 years, and I don't think that we see many artists continue to have the success for that length of time that you have. What were some of the biggest things that you had to learn about the industry once the Idol machine was over for you?
It was kind of just like super fast learning, like music business 101, but like you're thrown into the middle of it. It was fast learning, and it was a much ado, I guess you could say, but it was an amazing experience because it went from just a few months before that, before the show, being in high school, and not really knowing what I wanted to do. I didn't even know if a music career is like, well, I'll figure out what I want to do. And then a few months later, I have a recording contract and have a single released, and had been on the tour with American Idol, started doing these radio shows, and hearing myself on the radio, it was pretty amazing to see how much it changed, and then to keep releasing albums after that, have a fan base, be traveling all over in different places. It was pretty life-changing.
I can imagine. So
a short time.
Oh, absolutely. I like to get sort of both sides of the coin on it. So what would you say was the best thing, or has been the best thing since then? And what was maybe the biggest struggle that you faced?
I think the best thing was just being able to connect with people, because I think that's what's so neat about music, is you get to express yourself or different stories and be able to connect with so many people and see how that can affect the listeners and the audience. And probably the biggest struggle was probably just feeling like I could handle it all, because I think I'm someone who naturally is just slower, and sometimes life doesn't wait for you to catch up. And a lot of times I just kind of wonder, well, can I really do this? I don't know if this is something I'm qualified for. And a lot of times it just you can feel a bit smothered and really just feel like you're not capable of accomplishing everything that needs to be accomplished. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of attention as well, and attention wasn't something, I guess it's never been the easiest thing for me to deal with. And so American Idol, it was just lots of attention and following, and then having a career. Entertainment business career where it's all about getting people's attention. That's what kind of allows it to continue and to flourish. So that was a challenge as well. But and I guess it still is a challenge, but I feel like I've been able to handle it. I've found a way to deal with it more easily and in a more mature way than when I was a teenager. So,
well, I think it shows a lot of strength to go from somebody who's just at home, who's not known really to most of the world, to then being on at the time the biggest platform, the biggest stage, the biggest audience. I say arguably in the world.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe how many people watched it. I mean, they said some of the ratings, some of the weeks were 30 million people. I guess that was every week. Around 30 million people were watching, and it just was a number I couldn't even fathom, because it was like, well, okay, 30 million people. That's like how many more times the amount of the state I'm living in?
The population of Canada is a little over 30 million, so you basically had an entire country for the most part watching. If you look at numbers, yeah.
That's crazy. I was going to say, I was like, I could tell from your accent, like, he sounds... I didn't want to make an assumption, but it didn't sound like you're from Canada. But,
go for it.
Which is a really nice country. I was just there in Montreal. I was last week. I think it was last week.
And I was just in West Hollywood last week, David. So we're country swapping. I was just in Los Angeles last week, and you were in Canada. So there you go.
Oh, okay, I remember now. I was in LA last week because I was filming a couple of Christmas music videos. So the week before, I was in Canada.
Ah, all right, gotcha. So how did you enjoy your time in Montreal?
I have a hard time keeping track. It was great. What I love about Montreal, there's this place called Orange Julep, and it has the best Orange Julius. I don't even like Orange Julius, but this place has Orange Julius that I just love. It tastes so good. And I got my road manager hooked on it. So she was on tour with another artist there, and she requested if the runner could go, if it was possible at all for a runner to go get the Orange Julius so that she could taste it, because I guess she didn't have time. But it's really
all right.
Like a huge, giant orange.
Yeah, all right. So there we go. Shout out for that. Shout out for that store in Montreal.
Really good.
Let's shift then to talk Christmas, because I know you've got some new music coming out and a big tour about to start in November. Yeah. So I released a Christmas album last year. It's actually the second Christmas album I've done. I released one 10 years ago in 2009. Christmas from the Heart was what it was called. And last year I released one called Winter in the Air, and this time I wrote 3 original Christmas songs to go along with a bunch of just classics. And I am now going to, the plan is to have a deluxe version of that album come out this year. So I'll have some additional songs. I've already filmed a couple of new Christmas videos. I recorded a couple Christmas videos for last year, so I'll have a couple more to go with the new tour that will be for this year. And I'm looking forward to it all, because Christmas is, to be honest, they're my favorite tours to do. All right, well, let's talk about the holidays. What is your all-time favorite Christmas treat that you have?
Christmas treat. Oh, Christmas treat. Oh, Christmas treat. I would say probably, I do like hot chocolate.
Okay.
I do like cookies. So I feel like there are a lot of Christmas cookies. I don't like to eat too many. Sometimes I'm afraid to say what I like, because then sometimes fans will start sending a bunch of it. I'm like, and then it's like, well, I can't eat all of them, but I try to share them, but I can't always. But anyway, I do love Christmas. I do love cookies and hot chocolate. Those are some good treats.
Okay, there you go. What is your all-time...
How about you?
My mom makes some really good shortbread cookies, and so that's kind of my thing since I was a kid. She would store them in the freezer in a container, and then of course my brothers and I would go and sneak down there and then try to shift them around in the container so it doesn't look like any of them are missing. But I think she knew. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what about your all-time favorite Christmas song?
Oh, my favorite Christmas song. I do love "O Holy Night." But I also love Silent Night, just because it's so simple.
It's very calming.
I'm just going to say those two.
Okay. Well, yeah,
For now.
they're good. All right, so let's have some fun on this one. The best Christmas present you ever got, and then the worst one you ever got.
The best Christmas present, I remember really liking this computer game I got from my Aunt Char one time. I think I was like 8 years old, and it was like a motorcycle game.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I just remember that and that I really liked it. Then the worst one, to be honest, I don't remember. I don't remember very many of my gifts, and I don't remember not liking any of them. So,
Okay.
I don't think I have an answer for that one.
Okay. All right. No. Or how about maybe a time when you were shaking the Christmas box and then you were thinking that it was something and then you were totally wrong?
See, we only did presents a few years, and then almost every other Christmas, we stopped doing presents when I was young. So what we started doing instead is, instead of presents, we'd usually go and sing for people. Like my mom, I had 5 siblings. I mean, not 5 siblings. I had 4 siblings, so there were 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So she would dress us up as the Jackson 5, like with the wigs and everything, and we'd go around to like hospitals or nursing homes or neighbors, and we'd be the Jackson 5 and sing the Jackson 5 Christmas songs.
Okay.
So we'd usually sing and perform about it and like do presents. So
Well-
I remember those more than the presents, just because they stopped that when I was pretty young.
Yeah. And I think that those are better memories anyway than materialistic things, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And I like singing, so
Well, yeah.
I guess those stand out to me a little more.
Sure.
We'd also go Christmas caroling, just like general Christmas carols. And my mom would teach us, my siblings and I, 3-part harmonies of the Christmas songs. So we'd go and sing, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. And now even though we're all older, sometimes my sisters and I will go, and we'll still go Christmas caroling and sing the same songs that we sang when we were little to some of our old neighbors.
Wow, that's the thing. You know what? There isn't that genuine connection that people have these days. We don't see that as much anymore, do we?
Well, it's fun. So I recommend it if people. I mean, you don't have to do 3-part harmony, I guess. But Christmas caroling is just fun because it's just fun to see people smiling as you sing these songs, and most people know Christmas songs.
Well, now you've set the bar too high now with your 3-part harmony, though, David. I don't think anyone wants to do it now.
I mean, I've gone Christmas caroling, not 3-part harmony, with my friends as well. So I think it's more just experience. Even though it's freezing sometimes, but it's worth it. I mean, I guess it depends where you live. But if you're in Canada, it's most likely going to be pretty cold if you're going to go out Christmas caroling.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll check our schedules. If we cross paths this fall, David, we'll go caroling together if we happen to match up our schedules. Okay.
Okay. And I'm not going to be in Canada this Christmas, but I was a couple Christmases ago. I went and did a Christmas show up in Canada.
Okay.
When I go back,
All right.
we'll have to go Christmas
Okay.
caroling.
Yeah. I'm back and forth between California and Canada quite regularly, so maybe we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
All right. So talking about the Christmas tour.
We can do it in California.
Yeah, it will be warmer. We won't be shivering. The Christmas tour starts on November 23rd. I know tickets are on sale now. What can people expect during the show?
Well, they can expect just some good Christmas vibes. I try to mix it up with like some good, feel good, snap your fingers kind of Christmas music. Kind of like the old classic kind of, I guess, like Michael Bublé-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not old classic, but he's done the revival of it. And then I also try to do some of the more spiritual Christmas songs. So just to kind of give it that vibe of like Oh Holy Night and that kind of stuff, just because I love those kinds of songs as well, the more sacred side of it. But I try to have fun too. So like I want to get people moving and like head bopping and all that, but as well as just kind of feeling the meaning of Christmas as well, and that they can leave with that. Just have the full spectrum of the experience.
Will there be snow?
I always like people to sing along. I can't guarantee snow inside the venue, but maybe, depending on what city you come to, you might have some snow outside
right.
of the venue.
Okay, and where can people get more information about the tour?
They can go to my website, which is davidarchuleta.com with 1 T. And there they can see the dates that I'll be going to. They can also just keep posted on, even if they're not in a city nearby, I tend to post little clips and snippets from my tour, or like snapshots on my Instagram, which is David Archie, with an IE at the end, so they can follow on there, or on my Twitter, it's the same thing, David Archie, or Facebook. So I tend to just post little updates and snippets and all that on social media. But if they're nearby, I'd love to have them come to the show. It's a fun time, and we can Christmas carol together, because you can feel free to sing along if you know the Christmas songs, which I feel like most people do know these Christmas songs because they're pretty classic.
I think so, yeah. You learn them as a kid, and then they're with you for your whole life, I think.
Yeah, that's what I love about Christmas music.
It is. All right, well, I guess I'll wish you a very early Merry Christmas, and David Archuleta, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good talking to you, Jeremy.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble, and they're freaking out because we are now a minute over time on the podcast, and I'm going to drag this out because I can, and it's not like radio where, all of a sudden we're now throwing off the time slot in the next show and whatever. It's our frickin' podcast, so if you want to tune in for another 5 minutes, you can do that. But we did set out at the very beginning to say this was going to be 30 minutes every week. We want to be consistent with that. We're not going to, 1 week have a 3-hour show, and then the next week, 20 minutes, and then the next week an hour and a half. There are some times when, yes, we do run a little bit over 30 minutes, or we'll have a special edition, but it's also just because there's a lot of fun stuff happening or things to talk about. So that's one of the cases this time around. So my thanks to David Archuleta, and again, if you've got some gambling stories or thoughts on the Canadian federal election, I'd love to hear from you. You can send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. We are back with more celebrity guests on the show next week. I will talk to you then. Thanks for joining us. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more